Ladies and gentlemen, we are back again for another day in another project. So, once again, 2006 Harley Davidson Sportster 1200 Custom. Things we have done to it since the last time I updated to everybody. I think the only thing we did was we put these highway bars on. We took the stock ones off that were bent and rusted up. Put these on. They're Buddy Bezos type stuff. I'll put in a picture, screenshot, or whatever of the brand that's on there. But there's several of the several different manufacturers on Amazon. They're all made in the same factory. Let's face it. And judging from the images, they look like they are identical to what Viking Bag sells for the Harley Davidson Sportster. So, what do we need to work on? The girlfriend. Say hi to Nova. So she was out riding and she pulled the clutch in and she heard a pop. As we know, we just went in and did a new clutch spring, and I think I replaced the pressure plate because I happened to break that one when I was getting it out. The cable's not popped. It's all in one piece. When I went to go try and rescue her, there was a biker. His club name was Clutch. Go figure. He got her in neutral. He got her pushed out of the road. She was on a 4-lane highway sitting in a turn lane trying to go left. But I got to move this and get everything in position. I could show you, but I took off the derby cover, ended up adjusting try to adjust the clutch, took all the adjustment out of the clutch where the two halves of the sheathing were disconnected from one another. Couldn't get any tension on the cable. My suspicion is either the clutch ramp or, let's see, clutch ramp went bad. The adjuster bearing is bad, which I understand go out on these things all the time. They're not designed for the lateral load, so there is what I've found, a aftermarket solution to that is designed for a horizontal load, and I will put that on the screen somewhere if I can find that. And then maybe the adjuster's bad. Maybe the new clutch spring that I put in there, that Barnett clutch spring, might have cracked or something. I don't know. So I'm going to end up taking this thing apart and seeing what we got going on, and then order the parts from there. In the meantime, we do have that little backfire issue going on with the bike, especially when it's super cold. And what I found is with the bike cranking and just idling, everything's warmed up. I can spray some brake parts cleaner from the back side here and around where the intake goes into the head, and I can cause the bike to stall out. So I do have a gasket kit to replace the carburetor gasket to the manifold, and then a manifold deal. So after I get the primary opened up and see what's going on in there and see what all I need to order and replace, hopefully not a whole new clutch, while we're waiting on that, I do have the kit to do that, so I can start that project. Tank's going to have to come off. The pieces and parts to hold the horn and the choke bracket is going to have to come off. Carburetor's obviously going to have to come off, and then get the new ones installed. Make sure that the intake's aligned properly to the head on the side where the intake goes, so we're not pulling the carburetor out of the intake again, and then just causing the problems again. And hopefully I don't know, I have to look and see if that adjuster screw on the bottom of the carburetor has been drilled out, because whoever had the bike before had these Screaming Eagle slip-ons. I don't know if they made an adjustment to the carburetor or not. So hopefully, if we take care of that unmetered air issue that's causing the backfire to come back up, hopefully that'll be taken care of and we can be done with that. So it'll be my first go with that one, but hey, we'll figure it out. In the meantime, I worked on my friend's wife's Mercedes SLK 350, changed out a bunch of suspension components the last day, so I got to get that cleaned up. And I got all these spare parts and stuff for motorcycles kind of thrown in a corner. Get that situated. So let me get some organization done, and then we'll get this thing on a lift and start taking some stuff apart. All right, bike's in the air on the lift, strapped down all four corners. not really going anywhere. She's a little shaky, but she's down on there. All right, I'm gonna drain the oil. As the oil's draining, I'm gonna loosen up the primary chain tensioner, open up the derby cover. I'll see if I can get some video of what I went on this roadside trying to figure out, and then probably take off this, at least loosen that up and let that flop, undo that. I'm gonna get a little bit of paint and make a witness mark right there with some model paint. That way when it goes back on, I know exactly where it's gonna go. Then the shifter's right back in the same place. All right, see if we can focus on that. That is the drain plug. I didn't get too far. I just wanted to get a picture and video of that. There's a lot of junk on the magnet of that. This oil probably has only about 1,000 miles on it, maybe a little bit more, a couple hundred miles on 1,000. So roughly 1,000 miles on it with the new clutch, and that's what we got. So that is a lot of fuzz. Okay, so we're about where I was with the roadside repair. So this is the movement of the clutch cable. Now I've got all the adjustment out, but tightening this thing up as far as I can without separating the two halves of the sheath, it's gonna get you about the same. There is not a lot of movement in there. Like, it really takes there's a discernible step that this thing's having to get over. So I'm not sure if something came out of the off of the clutch ramp, or if it is something on the adjuster bearing, or even a broken spring. I don't know. Now you take this and turn this down till it seats, and you back it off. Seats about right there is where you start feeling some resistance. You back it off with about a quarter turn. It's kind of holding that, but when you get down here, it's feeling really shitty. So we're going to back this out. And just start dissecting. Can't do this one-handed, so. Okay, the adjuster nut's out. I just want to look at this. That is all over the place in there. So that tells me that it's probably the bearing that got roached. So I guess the next question is, should I just go ahead and take the whole primary off, which sucks because I already had that off. Just to check everything out, make sure if that bearing went, if the pieces didn't go everywhere, and check the other pieces. I'm probably going to do that. I'm probably just going to pull the primary just to make sure that nothing else got destroyed inside when that thing went. So we'll see. So that's interesting. This would just set in there. The snap ring was missing. And I know I put the snap ring back in because that was the new one that I got to replace the one that I chewed up last time when I had this apart. But hell, since I got it out, I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade that bearing. The adjuster doesn't feel too bad, but yeah, that snap ring went. So looks like I am pulling apart this cover and see if I can find a snap ring. Alright, so I'm going to pull these off and break torque on all this on the perimeter here. Then once torque's broke in, I'll zip them out. I can't remember if it's just the Big Twins or the Sportsters, but I do think, and if I remember right, some of these screws are longer than the others. So just made me a little half-assed template around this. Numbered it. There's 16 screws. I believe, if memory serves correct, it is a 3/16, or if you're a certain YouTube member, it's a 16/3. And then I'll just pop them in there, and they'll live in the holes of this half-ass box until I am ready to put everything back together. Alright, so got the primary cover off, and found the circlip, and it was just kind of half fell out there, hanging on, like it was hanging on the pan like that when I popped the pan off. Relatively brand new gasket. It sucks because I just put all this stuff back together. So I'll get another kit, one to replace the seal for that, probably a seal for that. I can't remember if there's a seal on that or not. I guess what I'm gonna do, because I don't see any other damage that went on in there, because really this, for anybody who doesn't know, just slips in there, and then you can kind of see this groove right there, and that's where the C-clip goes into. Spring clip, C-clip. So you can kind of see it in right there. That looks good. I think, just to be on the safe side, I'm definitely going to upgrade that bearing, because some of the stuff I've seen that bearing likes to go out. Might as well upgrade it to the one that's designed, because this is a, oh god, I'm going off of memory, so don't kill me in the comments. I think that's a deep groove ball bearing, and there is a conical torsion bearing or something like that that is designed for that horizontal load that goes on. And I see my light is starting to get the ghost in it again. Good old Harbor Freight. So yeah, so what I'll probably do, just because this piece here was kind of dangling, the only thing that was really holding it, what it looks like, in place was this adjuster nut here. So I don't see any damage where this went in. I'm guessing those shavings were just normal shavings from either the starter or the normal use that goes on with the primary chain or whatnot. I don't know, maybe even in a compensator. I guess there's a compensator underneath here. I'm not sure about the Sportsters. I think that's what it's called. I'm still learning Harley Davidson stuff, so I guess I'll find this out in the future when something else breaks. But until then, yeah, I guess what I'm going to do is just order everything here, probably get a new clutch ramp. I'll just probably order everything new on that one, this, whatever this little piece here is with that spring, get a new one of those, because that spring, I don't know how much tension's supposed to be on it. It's not much there. Just peace of mind, we're in there doing it, we might as well do it once and hopefully never have to do it again. Get a new C-clip. Man, I think I put a new C-clip in there, but I don't remember if I reused the old one or not. Maybe the old one, it does, I don't know if you can see that in the picture or not, but it is slightly off. Yeah, you can kind of tell right there, it's slightly off. So maybe it was bent and it pulled itself out of the groove or something. So I'll get a new one of those, probably get the new adjuster piece, probably just what I think is V-twin or something like that. Whatever the Taiwanese made stuff in from JP Cycles is. It's not super expensive. You're definitely not paying a Tarly tax, and it's probably coming out of the same factory. Shit, right in the damn oil. Upgrade that torsion bearing. Get a new adjuster, get a new C-clip to the torsion bearing. That nut's fine, that nut should be fine. Get a new one of those springs. I don't know, maybe, I'm not sure. Oh, that goes together, that's got a C-clip. I might pull this guy apart. Looks like it's got a C-clip that comes off right there, and then that slips apart. There's 3 ball bearings in there for the clutch ramp. So this acts as the cam, the cable, the clutch cable pulls on that little piece there. This thing pivots and that stays in place, but it pushes against, I guess, That's how that works. That pushes against something, and then yeah, I think that somehow, yeah, that somehow interfaces and pushes against the clutch spring, and then that takes the pressure off the clutch pack. So yeah, we'll do that. So we might get out of this fairly cheap. At least I'm not rebuilding the whole inside of the primary. That makes me a lot happier. Just do some preventative maintenance, do some upgrades, and probably, I'm not sure, I don't know what the thickness is on that primary adjuster though, but hell, I'm gonna be in there. I might as well go ahead and replace that, and hopefully this clutch will last us 20-30,000 miles and nothing else breaks on it, and maybe not have to tear in this thing until about 30-40,000 miles, because we got about, I think we're getting close to 14,000 on it now. Okay, I just got the primary cover back on. I just got a screw there. I'll probably do the same here on the derby cover, just to kind of keep things closed up, get things on order. While things are on order, I'll probably do another sporadic video about doing the intake gaskets on here. Tank's gonna have to come off, blah blah blah, you know. So that'll be fun diving into that. I think I'm gonna have to, horn's gonna have to come off, choke lever's gonna have to come off, this bracket's gonna have to come off, disconnect the hose line. I've done that before. Tank's got to come off. I don't know how much gas is in this thing. You know, is what it is. Maybe try and find, there's a little right angle breather fitting that runs to, I guess there's a charcoal canister somewhere back here on this end of the bike. I put some vacuum hose on there. I think you can kind of see it right there. This center guy right there. I think that's the hose. And then this is what that hose just kind of, what it falls down into and then runs its way back that way. I'm looking at it now. Actually, no, that's a different hose. The hose I put on is collapsed. So, I don't know. There was another fitting, right angle fitting, that looks like it was disintegrated. So, but in the meantime, I guess I'll go ahead and just thread that drain bolt back in too, just to close this thing up. And while parts are coming in, I'll be working on the other half of the project. I'll do a different video on that one and see how it goes. Be my first time completely disconnecting the carburetor on this thing. So, wish me luck, and then I guess I'll work on my bike too. It's I gotta put some solid bushings on the Suzuki so that the apes don't compress the rubber bushings and make my slow speed maneuvering like terrifying.